Hey,
Hey, what's up, man?
the episode of Survivor
Y-
finished yet?
Yes. Are you a big Survivor fan? It's
Yeah.
getting better. The game's a lot different. It's more of a strategic focus game versus a survival and relationship style game. When they asked me back to go on season 40 as a medical cannabis user, I wanted to ask if I could bring it out to go play Survivor because it's legal in LA, medical
Right.
legal. They actually ran it up the flagpole. So for the first time ever, they actually asked to see if I could bring out medical cannabis on Survivor.
Wow.
And the answer was no. To answer your question, yeah. They
Well,
said it's not legal in Fiji, so they said no way.
yeah. No, good for them for at least running it up the flagpole and talking about it. But speaking of cannabis, let's take the people that may not know a little bit farther back about what brought you to medical cannabis, what was going on, and how did the experience
Yeah,
go?
yeah, sure. Diagnosed with cancer when I was age 35. I was looking for alternative ways to make myself feel better and to mitigate the side effects of cancer treatment. I was fearful of if it's going to interact with some of the chemotherapy or the other cancer drugs that I was on. And not only that, how to take cannabis, when to take it, where to get it, because it's a little bit confusing and scary to do something like figure out how to use cannabis while having cancer.
Totally. Did you have any guidance from the doctors that were treating you, or what was your, like, how did you know what to do?
If you can believe it, there wasn't one trained oncologist, nurse practitioner at the place I was getting treated for cancer. And so, yeah, I had to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
I had a rare form of Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is blood cancer. As of right now, I am in remission for over 10 years, and so the reoccurrence hopefully will not happen, right?
Yeah.
But that is a huge reason why I continue to use CBD and cannabis is because of that. Is it going to come back? Like as a cancer survivor, I'm incredibly fearful of the cancer returning, and so that anxiety and stress and the fear of relapse is real.
For people that are watching and curious, there are 9 mechanisms of action in the body where cannabis as a super vegetable is either preventing cancer, or when cancer is there, preventing it from growing larger, preventing it from metastasizing into other parts of the body. The research is pretty amazing and it's shocking. In petri dishes, in animal models, we don't have robust clinical trial research in humans yet, but we do have clear mechanisms of action. We have a sense of exactly what's happening. We just have to identify it in people. We're already starting to see it pour into the medical literature, but we're going to be really surprised by what we missed over these last 100 years.
Yeah, I'm so excited about what's going on in cannabis in today's world, just
Yeah.
exactly for that reason. When I was on all these synthetic pills, I was always like chasing a feeling,
Mhm.
like the Percocet was for pain. And when that started to wear off, I started to think about when I get it. Okay, now I need Xanax for anxiety, and I need this for sleep, and I need this for energy, and this to increase my appetite,
Mhm.
right? So you're always chasing and taking a pill for a different subject. It's just like my entire day was consumed with trying to figure out what pill to take when. But with cannabis, it just leveled it all out.
Yeah, I know. I think people don't know what to expect. I mean, people don't really understand. We hear about cannabis as a medicine, so they're thinking, oh, it's Advil or it's like Percocet, and it's going to do one particular thing. But cannabis actually is more like exercise, a whole system kind of activator, or sleep, or nutrition. It's not just one pathway. It's crossing lots of different borders in lots of different organs. It's affecting your cognition, your emotions, but also your body. It's exactly like you're saying. It's not about, oh, hunger right now and pain right now and sadness right now. It's about leveling your whole system into an equilibrium.
Obviously, now there are so many different forms to take cannabis, which is really exciting. I love that side of the industry. There's inhalers and balms and tinctures and capsules and vapes, and so there's all lots of healthy ways to consume cannabis if you need it. It definitely relaxed me. It allowed me to take a deep breath, and the anxiety, which is just ruminating on thoughts, it just melted away. So that was very important for me. I didn't like, sometimes it gave me a little bit of a paranoia, but I mixed it with some CBD that would take away the paranoia. I didn't always like that it maybe sometimes gave me hungry when I wasn't hungry, but on the flip side, when I was going through chemo and it did make me hungry, that was a positive, right?
A common misnomer in the general public that the munchies means people are going to get fat. People are worried, oh, I don't want to have cannabis because I don't want the munchies because I don't want to get fat. The truth is, people who consume cannabis, when we look at a population-wide survey, the people who consume cannabis actually have lower waist circumference and lower weights overall than people who don't consume cannabis.
Interesting.
Part of what's going on when people are getting the munchies is actually your metabolism is increasing. You process sugar a little bit more efficiently. You process fat a little bit more efficiently. And cannabinoids actually increase insulin production and can help people lose weight even faster than other traditional options. It's a super exciting time.
Yeah, you talk about that in your book?
Yeah, no, of course. I'm not here to promote it. For people who haven't understood cannabis or want to at a really deep level, the Doctor Approved Cannabis Handbook is my way of sharing everything I've been learning over the last 10 years in a consolidated manner. Everything is written for everybody, simple language, not jargon. But I want to bring it back to you and advice that you might give to other people who are not sure about this cannabis thing. What advice would you give them? I
tell them to find a trusted source and get some help. Because one thing that I know is an issue in the industry or that I've found and friends that I've spoken to is you see a medical cannabis doctor, you get your cannabis card, great. You never see him again. Right. Then you go to a dispensary and you talk to a bud tender, and the dispenser's not really a hospital, a bud tender's not really a doctor, and they're telling you what you should be using for your ailment. So if you can get as close to getting like a medical professional opinion and following a plan with that, I think that's the right way to go. Totally. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's a weird time that we live in because on the one hand, we're all experts because we have this whole internet and we can have as much information as possible. But we also forget that there are professionals out there, whether it's a lawyer or a doctor, somebody who's honed a skill over so many years and they know the ins and outs of strategy and approach, and to not take advantage of that when it's coming to your health. Why burden yourself with that? We have the opportunity. 100% agree. Like this plant is a factory of natural pharmaceuticals, and the nutrition the bottom of the plant gets is different than the middle and top. So is the sunlight, and all of these things actually produce different products. I didn't know that. It's almost like, like if you went to CVS or something, the Tylenol at one side of the store is going to be different than the other. It's just become something of a mess. Yeah. So if you think about a strain, it doesn't really mean much because they could be plucking from the top and get one thing, plucking from the bottom and get it totally different. Interesting. That's how medicalizing the plant, you can dial in exactly what you want, how much of it you want, and a little bit more how it's going to make you feel based on some of the terpenes they can add and things along those lines. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the medicalization changes the fun. If you're learning about different boiling point temperatures, not a lot of people know that at a certain temperature, certain cannabinoids will boil. And if you know what those things do, how they affect your body, you can actually steer the same cannabis to different directions just with the temperature. Wow, I didn't know. Look at this. Look, I'm learning so much from you. Yeah. Before we close off, I just want to see if there's anybody in the audience who has questions, either for Ethan or I. Feel free to throw them out there, and then we'll close off. I thought this was a great chance to hear and talk with each other. Next time we can do it from we can join from my account as well. So we'll flip it next time. Yeah, have it similar. I think folks on my side, if they didn't navigate their way to this, would be very interested in what we have to say. For sure. Yeah. This is my book. So for people who have no idea what they're doing, cannabis novices, you won't find a better introduction. Great. And for people who are experienced, there's nuance and depth here that you won't find anywhere else. This is me slaving over the research for 10 years, simplifying it for everybody who wants it. Incredible. Yeah. I highly suggest everyone go out, pick one up. Yeah, no, please do. It's on Amazon, everywhere books are sold. And for those who aren't following Ethan or I, please follow. We're going to do more of these. You won't know unless you're following. So please give us a follow. And I guess everyone else, be safe, be happy. There's enough pain and suffering in the world. We can do our part, each of us one by one, to do a little bit better. Yeah. Good, my friend. And it's great seeing you tonight. And thanks for sharing the information. And for everyone out there, hopefully I'll meet you in person one day. Thanks. Take care.